Hello everyone, let's get back to the last bit of the chapter What is Democracy? Why Democracy? We have seen in the previous slides the features of democracy and why democracy is comparatively better than the other countries. So now that becomes easier for us to solve these exercises in MCQs. So let's go with the first exercise. Here is some information about 4 countries. Based on this information, how would you classify each of these countries? Write democratic, undemocratic, or not sure against each of these. Country A. People who do not accept the country's official religion do not have a right to vote. Country B. The same party has been winning elections for the last 20 years. Country C. Ruling party has lost in the last 3 elections. Country D. There is no independent election commission. So let's look into the answers. Country A is undemocratic because people who do not accept the country's official religion do not have the right to vote. A democratic country, everyone has the right to vote and each vote has one value. Coming to country B, not sure. You cannot see they've been having elections and they've been winning from the last 20 years. But the same party has been winning elections and winning from the past 20 years, but it cannot be said undemocratic. Ruling party has lost in the last 3 elections. Yes, this is totally democratic. The other opponent party is getting a chance to win. Country D, undemocratic because there is no independent election commission. Independent election commission means an election commission that is not completely favorable to the government. It is accountable to itself and does not favor the government. It favors the process of elections. Coming to the next question. Here is some information about 4 countries. Based on this information, how would you classify each of these countries? Write democratic, undemocratic, or not sure against each of these. Country B, the parliament cannot pass a law about the army without the consent of the chief of army. Country Q, the parliament cannot pass a law reducing the powers of the judiciary. Country R, the country's leaders cannot sign any treaty with another country without taking permission from its neighboring country. Country S, all the major economic decisions about the country are taken by officials of the central bank, which the ministers cannot change. Let's look into the answers. Country P, undemocratic, because here it says the parliament cannot pass a law about the army without the consent of the chief of the army. It's totally democratic if the parliament can pass a law. But here there's a big word called consent where the chief of the army should be spoken to before passing a law. So that is not right in a democracy. Country Q, it is democratic because the parliament definitely, in a democracy, the parliament cannot pass a law reducing the powers of the judiciary. Country R is totally undemocratic. Okay, because see again, like the first country P without the consent, there's also a term saying without the permission. So these are very big words, and it's against the concept of democracy. All the major economic decisions about the country are taken by officials of the central bank, which the ministers cannot change. So country S is completely undemocratic. Okay. Let's go to the next question. Which of these features is or are necessary to provide the basic rights to the citizens? A. Citizens should be free to think, should be free to form associations, should be free to raise protests? All of the above. So we've discussed above in the previous slides that if there are basic rights given to a citizen, that is a completely democratic country. And all these are the basic rights given to any citizen of any country to be qualified as a democracy. So all of the above is the answer. Let's go on to the next question. Some of the drawbacks of democracy is instability and delays, corruption and hypocrisy, politicians fighting amongst themselves, all the above. The answer is all the above. Like we've seen, in the column of against democracy, there was a concept of instability because many rulers keep changing, and there are delays. It also leads to corruption, and many politicians are fighting amongst themselves. Next question. Democracy improves the quality of decision making because A. Decisions are taken by educated people. Decisions are taken by consultation and discussion. Decisions are taken over a long period of time. All decisions are approved by judiciary. So the answer is decisions are taken by consultation and discussion. And that's what improves the quality of decision making in a democracy. The most common form that democracy takes in our time is that of limited democracy, representative democracy, maximum democracy, none of the above. It's a representative democracy because the rulers elect the government and the government in turn keeps their policies accountable to the people, right? So it's called a democracy. It's ruled by the people. Hence, we select our representative who is going to rule us. The word democracy comes from the Greek word demokratia, demos, and kratia. It's B, democratia, demos plus kratia. Ruled by the people. When did Zimbabwe attain independence and from whom? 1970 from black minority rule, 1880 from white minority rule, 1980 from Americans, 1980 from white minority rule. So the answer is 1980 from white minority